Nick from Nick's Investment Lab, and today, RESP Quick Facts. So what is an RESP? An RESP is a registered education savings plan. These are designed, quite literally what they sound for, to help fund an education. Now, there are two main types of RESPs, individual plans and family plans. Individual plans can only have one beneficiary attached to them, and family plans, as you can imagine, can have more than one beneficiary attached to them. I often will encourage clients to go with a family plan just because it gives greater flexibility. If, for example, if one beneficiary doesn't necessarily need to use all the funds, that can be passed on to one of the younger beneficiaries. Whereas with an individual plan, as previously mentioned, a lot more restricted to the one beneficiary that is attached to the account. With that all said, the main benefit of an RESP is that there are grants and bonds that are available from the government to be paid to the beneficiaries. So with the RESP grant, the lifetime maximum that any one beneficiary can receive is $7,200. Now, additionally, each beneficiary can receive up to $500 in grant money per year. The amount that each beneficiary receives in grants is approximately 20% of the contributed amount. These are a whole lot of numbers I just threw at you, but for simplicity's sake, if you had an RESP with one beneficiary and you wanted to max it out, the maximum amount that you could contribute to maximize grants would be $2,500 per year. Now, if, let's say your child was born last year and you did not have one of these accounts, you could open one this year and contribute $5,000, essentially catching up one retroactive year. This can be done essentially indefinitely, with a couple limitations. Number one, grants can only be earned up until the end of the year that the beneficiary turns 17. And number two, that the lifetime maximum of $7,200 in grants isn't exceeded. If you were to open an RESP upon the birth of your child and you were to contribute $2,500 every year, you would run out of grant room prior to your child turning 18. So that's why I mention is because, of course, there are certain subtleties that aren't going to work out perfectly here. And there is an additional top-up. So for the lower and middle income families, the first $500 in contributions, you can get an extra 10% top-up. So rather than $500 in grants, you're looking at about $550. So there are also additionally bonds available which don't require any contributions to be made. So with this said, the bonds are available and there's different income thresholds depending on how many kids you have. So for the sake of conversation, we're going to assume 1 to 3 children. As long as your income is below $57,000, you should receive the Canada Learning Bond. The first year that a beneficiary is eligible, you will receive $500, and then assuming that they're eligible in future years, an additional $100 until the lifetime maximum of $2,000 per beneficiary is reached. One last side point to all of these RESP limits and thresholds is that there is a lifetime contribution limit to RESPs per beneficiary of $50,000. Taking the money out, what does this look like? So as long as the beneficiary is attending an eligible post-secondary school, they will be able to take the money out and not have to worry about any taxes on the original contributed amounts, but any of the grants and growth will be taxed in the hands of the beneficiary. The good news here is that this is often offset by any tax credits received from the educational institutions. So as long as you're not withdrawing all of the money all at once, chances are you can probably offset a good amount of the taxes through the tax credits available. If a beneficiary chooses not to attend post-secondary education, then up to $50,000 of the amount in the account can be transferred into the account holder, or in most cases the parents or grandparents, RSP account, assuming that they have RSP room able to do so. With this being said, though, the grants and any applicable bonds do have to be repaid. So grants and bonds can only go towards educational purposes, but if the beneficiary does not attend a post-secondary education or a qualifying institution, then at least some of that growth can be tax sheltered through the RSP. Once again, all contributed amounts are made with after-tax dollars, unlike a regular RRSP where you are getting that tax break for the contributed amount. So no need to worry about any taxation on your principal contributions. There are limits on RESP withdrawals, but really only in the first semester of a beneficiary's program, and only actually in the first 13 weeks of study. So for a full-time student, the limit that they can withdraw from EAP, or educational assistance payments, are $8,000. And for part-time students, the amount is $4,000. Now, once again, this is only from the EAP component, or the grants and the growth. There is no limit on the contributions. Furthermore, you can withdraw from after the end of a program, even if, for up to 6 months, even if the beneficiary is no longer attending. So where I'm going with all this is, if you have a beneficiary that doesn't want to attend a full post-secondary program, if you can twist their arm into going for one semester and just toughen through it, you could potentially get all of the money out of the RESP in that one semester. Now, from a tax perspective, it might not be advantageous, but at least you know that you're getting all those grants and growth out of it without having to worry about, number one, it being taxed in the account holder's hands, and number two, not having to repay the actual grants. With all of that being said, of course, consult with a financial professional, and don't hesitate to reach out to us directly at nixinvestmentlab@gmail.com. To close, please like, comment, subscribe, and tune into future videos to see what we're going to talk about next. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.